I gotta close the window before I record because New York don't know how to be quiet. What's up, my dudes? We got my PC setup, man. So I'd actually made this video a little while back, but it sounded like I was talking through a literal barrel. So I was like, I should probably come back in there and remake this puppy. I thought it'd be pretty important to do this, and I think it's just a cool video, and I really wanted to go in there and kind of explain all the specifics of what I got going on my PC and with the microphone and some little things on how I do stuff. I think it's pretty cool, and a lot of people do want to see YouTubers do this kind of stuff, especially gamers, because it's like, you know, you really get into all the specifics of everything, and that's how you're able to do what you do on YouTube, so it's kind of cool. So yeah, basically this is the new PC that I had ordered from Origin about a year and a half ago. And yes, I know you can build your own PC and go in there and, you know, not spend like quite as much money. I get it, right? But for me, it was just an easy, simple, quick option. I needed a new PC. I needed something I could live stream on, something I could really record on, something I could play, you know, some high graphic PC, high frames per second games. That's what I was really trying to get out of it. So basically, just to give you the little rundown here, right? So this is a Core i7 7700K, 420 gigahertz, blaze it, dog. That's what we got going on the processor, and then we've got 16 gigabytes of RAM, and that's a GeForce GTX 1080 Ti, one of those in there, and it's not a liquid cooled or anything like that. It's just air cooled, but you can basically you can build it any way you want to build it. You can order whatever you want to off of Origin. That's just the place I chose. I mean, you can get that on a lot of different websites, stuff out there. They'll build you a PC like that, but it's pretty cool because you get the whole 9 yards of it, man. The whole custom PC, the lighting, every little thing you want. I just recently got done completely changing out the actual radiator on that, and I also need to change out some fans on it as well. So yeah, but basically, as far as all the other stuff with it, it does actually have 3 different hard drives on it. It's got the standard, you know, the C drive that you all come to know and love, that everybody has on their PC, right? I think that might have been like maybe a 500 gigabyte, and then it's got a D drive that's like 1 terabyte, and then it's got an E drive that's another 500 gigabytes. So basically, like, I use the C drive for just all the standard stuff that's on it, like the operating system, all that kind of stuff, and then the D drive is going to have like all my video, a lot of my videos, all that kind of stuff, and then the E drive is going to have like most of my games on it. So I kind of have it separated in 3, but eventually I'll obviously be upgrading a lot of this stuff, but this was just kind of the, you know, getting away from that, you know, your mom's Dell PC kind of shit that I was running beforehand. So, you know, this is really trying to get it a little more advanced here, but yeah, just the easy way to explain it on all the other stuff with the computer. It was basically like a year and a half ago, it wasn't the top of the top that you could get, right? It wasn't like, you know, dual Titans, you know, spending a ridiculous amount of money. I would say it was kind of like one level down from the tippity top of the slope on pretty much everything, right? So like if you had, you know, you just imagine like all these options kind of panned out for you on every little aspect of the computer. Well, it was basically like one notch down on all of that. That's what the PC was. So yeah, that's what I've been running. Obviously the Asus monitor here is actually $1,000 monitor. So yeah, it's got the G-Sync. It's only a 2K monitor. It's not a 4K, which I didn't even really give 2 hoots about having a 4K monitor. It wasn't that big of a deal to me, but yeah, it's Logitech keyboard right here. I wasn't too specific on like the keyboard and the mouse and all that. That's what I'm going to be improving on here really soon. I'm going to get a new keyboard, new mouse, new speakers. The speakers in the back are, I don't even know what the brand is exactly, but it's like Sound Blaster. I guess that's the brand. Those things I wasn't really giving 2 hoots about too much. I just ordered it off of the website. I just needed something temporary. I was kind of going with the whole flow of being able to have a color pattern, and then, you know, having the rainbow effect in the actual computer itself with the LEDs rainbow effect on the keyboard, and then the rainbow effect that I don't know if you can actually see it under there, the rainbow effect that'll happen on the actual speakers as well. But those speakers are definitely not doing as good as they were a year and a half ago, so they're not really holding up as good. And of course I want to get an actual real mouse pad to really, and a better mouse, a mouse that's better for, you know, first person shooters and stuff. That's more of a mouse that's kind of like I would call that more of like just a like editing things kind of mouse. You know, it's not so much like a full-blown first-person shooter mouse. So I really need to try to get all that figured out and have an actual real mouse pad, and not this more slick sandblasted thing right here. So but yeah, and then obviously the microphone I use, Blue Yeti. You guys know I've been using this for a while now. At the very beginning I used like headset microphones, but then it went to the Blue Yeti microphone. I've been through so many different settings. I'll probably make a separate video on that to explain how, because the Blue Yeti is so, it's just so like sensitive. It's really hard to get it to where your audio is not going to peak. It's not going to be too loud because there's no compression, there's no mixer. You know, I don't use any of that. What you're hearing on my YouTube videos is my exact voice, right? Like a lot of your YouTubers, their microphone plugs into a mixer and they've got little knobs and they're tweaking compression and tweaking this over here and tweaking that over there, damn near auto-tuning their voice, you know what I mean? And that's not even the real voice, right? But what you guys are hearing, my literal real voice. But it's all about, what I've learned with this thing is it's all about, you got to have your gain, it's got a gain option in the back. You really got to have that tuned perfectly and be a perfect distance away from it, because it's so sensitive that if you get too close to it, it's very easy to, you know, get that kind of like this loud peaking sound, like right up on the microphone, loud like this type sound, you know what I mean? But it's just that you start to kind of learn how to talk into a microphone. You start to learn kind of how far you need to be back from any sort of microphone in that kind of sense. But yeah, it's just been a learning process, but I will be eventually upgrading and getting a better, like, you know, a full-blown, more so studio style microphone. But yeah, that's what I'm going to do eventually. But basically, lighting is some dungeon action lantern vibe. like you know, you just got to do what you can with what you got. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what I've had to do here. But it works for what it is right now. I'll probably have this whole setup like this for another 2, 3, 4, maybe 4 years, and I'll really go all in on it, right? It's kind of that, like, you know, you got to kind of weigh the risk versus reward. Like, is YouTube making you enough money to be able to support this? And if it is, then you can start upgrading stuff even more, and that's where the donations and the people watch my videos and support me. That's how I'm able to continue to upgrade and do things that I do with it. And yeah, I mean, that's how you're able to do all that. But YouTube by far is paid for all this already, so it, you know, it's not like I'm just kind of paying this out of my pocket. Like, basically, me creating a job out of doing what I love to do, playing video games, making videos, all that kind of stuff, it's paid for itself in that sense already. So, you know, it's pretty cool how that works out if you can get things to that point. But yeah, man, just wanted to come here and kind of show this off. But yeah, I certainly know that my whole mouse, and it's just a learning process, you know. You've got to, like, I think you have to take everybody's got to take steps, because if you try to go 0 to 100 real quick, it's going to be really difficult for you to learn anything about it. Like, let's just say you've never recorded your audio, your voice in a video at all, ever before with the actual real microphone. It's going to be really difficult for you to go to a full-blown, like, not just a simple USB microphone, you know what I mean, that just plugs right in. It's going to be hard for you to go to a full-blown studio microphone that you got to plug into a mixer. You got all these little extra plug-ins. You got to figure out how all that works. You know, there's a lot of extra levels and layers and steps to that. And same way with having a more advanced PC like that. You know, you're going to have to learn how to do things like change fans out. If you can't work on it, then you're going to have to send this mother trucking hoss off to wherever the hell they work on it. I ain't doing that. You know what I mean? I can't afford to do that. It came in a huge crate. You gotta, I mean, it's a mess and a half trying to get that thing back in its crate and sent off. So you basically have to become somewhat of a savvy with computers and computer, like, let's just say 3 years ago, if I would have had a PC like that, there's no way I would have even known what I was doing with it, because you kind of got to get in the zone, get in the realm, get in the being able to learn stuff. Same way with the mouse and the mouse pad. I've just now really started getting into first person shooters more hardcore, like PUBG and stuff like that. So I'm just now getting, I didn't play like a lot of first person shooters on PC for the longest time. I was a console first person shooter guy. So that's something I'm having to learn and improve on and progress on, and that's what it's all about, man. You got to take baby steps. Everything's not going to sound amazing quality or look amazing quality at the beginning when you start. You got to advance it over time, and I would say I'm somewhere in the middle, like, realm of all that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have the best of the best microphone. I don't have the best of the best mouse, keyboard. Don't have the best of the best speakers. I'm going to get me some better speakers, more so of the like standard speakers that people are listening back to music on. A lot of your music makers out there, a lot of those guys use I don't know the exact brand of it, but I've seen it. All those guys use a very specific speaker for that, and that's what I'm going to be getting for a lot of the music making that I'm doing. And I also did get a Mac PC, pretty cheap Mac PC, to get Logic Pro X on it, which is a music making software. It's a DAW, D-A-W. So if you guys don't know, I've been using Fruity Loops, FL Studios, and that wasn't really vibing for me, wasn't really cutting the cheese for me, you know what I'm saying? Had to get me some FL Studios, or not FL Studios, but Logic Pro X, which is more like your garage band kind of music making, but it's just way more extensive. And I've really been putting a lot into that, so you guys are going to be seeing more out of the music making side of stuff soon. And I'm still a complete beginner scrub music maker, right? Don't take it too serious. Like I don't know what the hell I'm doing, and I'll admit it, right? It takes time to figure out how to do all that stuff. And if it was easy, everybody would be amazing, in 2 seconds, and everybody would be able to do it. But it's not that way, it takes everybody time. So that's just the process that I've went on. But yeah, I would say within the next year, I'll have completely different mouse pad, way better for first-person shooters. I'll have completely different speakers. As far as the PC itself, I don't really need too much more right now. Exactly. I mean, I could use more storage, I guess, and then eventually, maybe like a better graphics card, but I don't really even need that right now. Like, to be completely frank and honest with you, it's not, I don't need it. I mean, I can live stream just fine with that thing, but eventually, and by the way, I didn't even show you guys the whole back here, the Elgato HD60. This is what I use to actually record my videos. I know a lot of you guys kind of wondering how I do that, because I know it's kind of confusing when you first get into it, but basically, yeah, man, Elgato HD60, super simple. Basically, that's what I got going here is, like, coming out of this graphics card, GeForce GTX 1080 Ti, out of the back, you've got two options, two plugins back there. You've got one that's your, like, basically direct port, whatever the hell. Let me look real quick. What the hell do they call that? Display port. Yeah, there we go. Display port comes right out of that, and that goes straight into the monitor itself. And then I've got it's got a HDMI coming out of that's going to this Elgato, right? It's a little confusing. It's hard to get everything working right if you don't know. It's going to be really hard to understand what I'm saying, but I've got that plugged in straight into here, the display port, and then I've got the HDMI going to the Elgato, and then that's coming out of the Elgato also going into the computer, right? So basically what I have, the systems I'm running right now, is basically I have it to where I can be playing a game in 2K, right? But then the Elgato, and I have my display on duplicate display, so it's duplicating my 2K display onto the display that's coming into the Elgato and going through the Elgato and then coming to this PC through the HDMI, which is only 1080, right? It's duplicating it to that, so I'm able to play in 2K, but it's recording it, the standard 1920 by 1080 or whatever the hell it is. So that's basically how I'm able to record, and I can easily just take, PS4 Pro HDMI from that around here to my Elgato HD60, and all I got to do is unplug where the HDMI cable came from the computer, plug a new HDMI cable in that's plugged into the PlayStation, and I can easily record from any console or record from my PC like at a flash. You know, it's really quick, it's really simple, it's really easy. No, I'm not recording in 2K, but it works really well for me because I don't even really want to be doing 2K videos right now. So it works great for being able to play everything in 2K but record it in, you know, your standard 1080. So that's what I'm running right now. And then obviously I'm going to be also getting a better actual modem in the future. Obviously I'm doing direct internet connection. There is no Wi-Fi hooked up or anything like that. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much the setup. Old shitty ass chair. Been rode hard, put up wet, boy. You know what I'm saying? Got to get me a new chair at some point. A couple of things I need to get, but just the progression, just trying to, you know, you don't want to go all in at the beginning. You want to just, you got to take steps. You got to take baby steps. You got to work your way through the tiers. You got to, you know, level up with it. And this is a pretty standard, it's a, I don't know what the actual, like, whatever level quality of it is or whatever, but it's a Logitech face cam, simple, 1080p. It's like kind of the standard that a lot of YouTubers use for face cams. That not like tippity top of the slope, top of the line, but you know, that's kind of the way all of this was. It was like not terrible quality stuff. It was like good. All this stuff is good, but it's not the best of the best. But I kept from like completely breaking the bank. You know what I mean? Like I was able to get every bit of this and have pretty decent quality, decent audio quality, decent face cam quality, decent in-game quality, decent gaming potential quality, all that. You know, and really, in all honesty, I would have had to have spent about twice as much money as I spent on all this, or more, to get like a 10% of a quality improvement. You see what I'm saying? So it's not even worth it until you get really, really big on YouTube to take that level of a leap, you know, because it gets to that point where it's like you're paying 10 times the amount for like a literal like 10% improvement. I mean, it's insanity. But you know, it makes a difference once you get to that level. But when you're just a starting YouTuber, you're not huge on YouTube yet, this is what you got to do, man, really. Unless you know, your mommy and daddy pays for everything, then if that's the case, then you know, then you can get it if you want it. But you know, I had to get it on my own, dog. This has all been paid for from the money I've made off of YouTube. That's what every bit of this has been paid for with. So all the people that's donated, that's went into this stuff, man. So you know, it has literally directly went into supporting me. All you guys that watch the videos, you know, like, commenting on the videos. I never tell you guys to like and comment because I don't want to be that kind of YouTuber. It's like, favorite, subscribe, you know, all this stuff. Like, I'm not into that, you know. But all you guys that have done that and, you know, continued the support and watch me and, you know, donated and done all that, that's how I'm able to continue to progress and do all this at the level that I am. So all we can do is grow from here and keep it rocking. So yeah, dudes, appreciate you guys watching all the videos. By the way, I apologize. I know this probably might have seemed like this was going to be like an MX Simulator setup video. Some of you guys are probably going to think that when you see the title. Sorry about that, guys. It's just kind of a conflict of titles. I can't really help that it's going to look like that. I apologize. I know that's what it might seem like to some of you guys, but this is just my PC recording setup video. Okay, this is not my MX Simulator setup. So either way, dudes, later.